This has nothing to do with the team that's opposing us. This is about us. This ain't got nothing to do with the naysayers, the unbelievers, the haters, the doubters. This is about us. When we started this journey, we told you it was gonna be trying, it was gonna be tough, but you endured because it's about us.
Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Petersburg Athletics, so you can catch all the episodes of Coach's Corner.
West Bank, you're working for the bank, the West Bank, not the bank, you bust it, West Bank.
Hey, Coach, what's going on?
How you doing, Sid?
I'm all right, sir. So we're back for another episode of Coach's Corner. So how you feel so far through the first couple of episodes?
Oh man, episodes are great. I enjoyed them. The game's been a little rough, but hey, by the time I'm back to doing this, we're on to the next one.
On to the next one, Coach. And a little rough. Hate to bring it up, but last week played Dinwiddie. Had been 16 straight losses.
Yeah, but I ain't affected by the 16 straight losses because we lost to them in the 80s all the way to 89, didn't win a game. 90s, we may beat them once or twice. It's about right now with this new regime, trying to concentrating on them to, to keep getting better and bounce back from this.
Definitely, Coach. So with that, we didn't bounce back. We lost 56-12.
55.
55. 55-12.
55-12.
55-12 was a clerical error on my part. And that's the fourth straight loss this season, Coach. What happened? Like we were, it seems like at the beginning of the season, we would have some positive momentum. Even though we had a hiccup against Armstrong, we kind of had some positive momentum. And then we went into this bye, and then we can't seem to get back at it. What do you think has happened, Coach?
This loss is totally different than all the other losses, even over all the other wins. You can't make the same mistakes that you've been making all the other games. We made those same mistakes in the other games. It's just a powerhouse program like this will show you if you keep making those mistakes that the result would be like that 55, and it could have been worse.
But your quarterback, Stanley Green, and the name Green we'll come back to in a minute. Yeah. But Stanley had a pretty good game. He threw two touchdown passes. The first one to Demarion Moss and the second one to Xavier King. And it seems like when he threw that first one to Moss, the whole stadium was energized. It was injected with some hope. We felt like Obama had spoke to us, like we had some hope and things. But then, Coach, like the wheels kind of fell off the bicycle there. We had a hiccup on special teams. Can you kind of take us into that moment right there?
Actually, man, I can break down the game for you. Like I go back to talking about when you playing against a good team like that. And this is the first time we had it all season. We had it a few times other seasons, but this is the first time. I knew coming out that they may not kick to Xavier, so they'll squib the ball on the ground and they'll give us good field position. So we started off on offense first, and they came out and they executed the drive. Did a good job. Then we come out on defense, then we get a stop. We get a stop, but then they're punting the ball. We get a penalty. A poor error on the coaching side. We sent another player in when he didn't need to go in. It was 12 players, and when the person is running in, instead of being 5 yards, it ended up being 15. So they kind of really started the bowling ball effect of it all really going down. Then we blow a coverage, and they go up 14-6. Then right after that, repeatedly, you get a bum error of a fumble or a toss to them to go back and score, which is totally inexcusable. That's just totally undisciplined, not planned to do. So all the way around, it just felt like everybody was bad. Coaching was bad. The players was bad. The only thing I really can look at of a positive is that the offense did improve and they moved the ball better than they have in the past. And, it's just going to have that bowling ball effect on you, man, when you're playing like that, especially against a team like that. I think they're like 7-1 now.
Yeah, 7-1, 6-1, but only lost one game. And again, that was Tamori out of the Tidewater, who was bulldozing just about everybody they're playing this year.
Right.
And again, like I said, Stanley was a bright spot there in the first half. And going into halftime, we put a score on the board. Those are a strike to Xavier King. And we kind of cut it down to 16. And again, all hope is not lost.
Right.
We
felt like, we had a chance.
Yeah.
Going into halftime, we felt like we still, was back in it because most of the errors we made on our own. But then conditioning starts kicking in where you can see that their program it really specializes in that. And then you start to get tired. You start to miss tackles and you start making errors on the offensive side. Kudos off to Dinwiddie, man. They their program did very well. And they've been doing it for a while, and we got to try to meet that point. And I think we're on the way, but right now, hats off, Dinwiddie, good job.
The Generals did play a great game, and like Coach said, they capitalized on the Crimson Wave mistakes. And going into the game last week, Coach said we had to have an on-the-road game. Offense, A defense, and this A team all the way together. And we started off the first quarter with an A. But, things kind of happened as they may. We failed some tests and some quizzes.
Yeah.
And
some classes.
some classes. But the crowd did bring their A participation, and they were in it. And, again, our Petersburg fans are great. Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, soccer, whatever sport we're playing, our fans are great. And they're going to come out and they're going to cheer their hardest. And I know they wanted that one just as bad as the players on the field. But in the game, Coach, we did sustain some injuries. Can you give us some updates on that?
I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
Too
early. No.
Too early. Too early. So hopefully those players that sustain some injuries will be able to come back here soon so we can see them complete the rest of the season. And speaking of completing the rest of the season, Coach, after all of that, right now we're 5th in the region.
Yes, we are. We're fortunate. I guess everybody can see the strength of the schedule. If you got to play in the Central District, it's kind of going on our side this year, where it really hasn't always in the past. But, we're fortunate right now.
Yeah, so with being 5th in the region, now in 3rd place is Hopewell.
Mm-hmm.
And Hopewell plays Meadowbrook this weekend.
Right.
And in 4th place, guess who's in 4th place, Coach?
4th place is Colonial Heights.
Colonial Heights, and we play them next weekend.
Yeah, we play them next weekend.
For senior night. Yeah. And they play Caroline County in an out-of-conference, out-of-region matchup at home.
Mm-hmm.
And Caroline County is 5-2, and they are at the bottom of their region, but still, they're a 4A school.
Right. They've been playing very well. Everything was set up and laid down the foundation of Gerard Johnson, and they're doing a good job. That's a tough game for Colonial Heights, but it's also a tough game for Caroline, too.
So it's going to be a battle in Colonial Heights tomorrow off of Conduit Road. So if you get a chance, after you go support the Wave on Thursday, check out the Colonials to see if they win or lose. Because if they lose, Coach, then that could possibly propel us up a little bit higher.
Yeah, but it's among other people too. It's really the I want to say one and two spots. One spot is sealed. The 2 all the way down, you don't know. The whole order can just change. Everybody's fighting just to get those last 7 spots, to be honest with you.
Oh, so that means that senior night even has more effect than just celebrating the seniors.
Absolutely, just like the last 3 years.
Last 3 years, and again, we'll talk more about that next week about the Colonial Heights game. But again, going back to Stanley. Stanley had a great game. I think passed over 200 yards. Mm-hmm. Didn't really turn the ball over. Had
couple towards the end of the game.
At the end of the game, again, it's really in garbage time. But Green, you had the privilege of having another Green play for you. Yes, Kevin Green.
Kevin Green, excellent quarterback, has the single season passing records 1 and 2 here. Was a very good multi-sport athlete as well. Actually is related to Stanley Green as well, as you can see the relation, but he was an excellent quarterback, had an outstanding game in a playoff in 2010 where he threw for over 500 yards, threw the ball 53 times, over 35 plus completions or whatever. You know, he was a warrior. Did all that on the sprained MCL that night.
Wow. And Stanley plays quarterback. His cousin played quarterback. Must be a green thing.
It could be a green thing.
It could be a green thing. And again, Stanley hasn't had those 500-yard exploits passing the ball yet, but do you think he's capable of doing it?
Man, 500 yards is tough. Very tough to get. You know, when it first happened, I was like, okay, maybe, you know, somebody can come up here and match that record. And we had a few times where we tried without knowing, and it shows you how difficult it is. It's not easy to even throw for 2. 3 is, you know, is extra hard. You know, 4 we've never seen. So for him to get to that 5 is just excellent, man. You got to really be on fire.
Definitely. I mean, when you are cruising and moving like that, and you had to be sitting on a heater. You know, they say in basketball, when a guy hits 3 points in a row, he's on a heater. So if you're throwing for over 500 yards or even 300, coach, you really got to be locked in the zone.
Yeah, you got to be locked in. But, you know, we've thrown the ball a lot here lately, to be honest with you, the last few years. Messiah Scott is the career passing leader. He has several 300-yard passing games, several 200 and some yard passing games. Also had games where he scored all the points, had all the touchdowns, was 90% of our offense. He also had Stanley Davis, who was first team all-conference quarterback for the first time that had happened at the time since 1991. And, you know, it really all really started with him of coming back to where you really could see that. Jamonte Jackson was a very good quarterback too as well. You look at guys back in the past, Fabian Tucker, Jason Pulley, John Walker. We had an all-state quarterback in the 1979 that went on to play the Virginia Tech too as well. You know, so we've been having pretty good athletes at the quarterback position, man. So it's almost like I want to say like a quarterback club, to be honest with you. You know.
And coach, you played quarterback too, right?
Yeah, I was a quarterback as well. I had my little excitement back in the day. You know, I was a balanced type quarterback. I could run and I could throw. Most of the time, 900 yards on the ground, 900 yards in the air. You know, back in that day, you know, we really didn't put. If you threw for 1,000 yards or close to it, that was great for you to do. But you know, my thing was diving in the end zone, trying to score points and stuff. So it's always a lineage, you know. But I came up watching John Walker, you know, Don Ruffin, who was a career passing leader at the time. Before I want to say Daryl Drayton got it. You know what I'm saying? Daryl Drayton was another good quarterback. De'Ari Harris was another one. Fabian Tucker. You know, the list just goes on and on and on. You know, so just a good quarterback club.
Good quarterback club. And speaking of different clubs and things, coach, the college club. And this week is college week here at Petersburg High School, where we're trying to encourage all of our young people to apply to college. And I know we have several seniors this year that are looking to take the career on to the collegiate level. And yourself, you played in college as well.
Yes.
So when you think back about that experience of you going to college, and now you've seen your own son go to college,
Yes.
and now you see your seniors now going to college. What comes to mind when you think about that?
First, you got to really ask yourself: Is this what I want to do? If you want to go to school, you got to understand that you go to college, you're going to school. You're going to school to learn. So if you know not taking academic serious, you really got to ask yourself that question: Is this the path I want to go? Because there are other career choices too. You can go in the workforce. You can go into the military. You know, it's different avenues you can take. That's first off. You know, then you got to ask yourself, man, do I love the sport enough to still take care of the academic side to get a degree for afterwards? Because you're not going to always play sports forever. It's going to end. You know, you're going to get older. Your bones just not going to be able to take it. Everybody's not going to be like Tom Brady or Michael Jordan, be able to last that long, or even LeBron James. You know, your time is going to come, so you need to have something to fall back on. And, you know, it's a low percentage of, you know, getting a athletic scholarship is real, real low. It may be something in the 2%, 3% range of getting it. So your academics is what's really going to help you financially to prepare yourself, you know. So for myself, I end up taking another route. I went to a prep school or a post school after I graduated, and went to Hargrave Military Academy, and that was kind of in the private sector. And being in the private sector, schools kind of, looked at me, and I already had all the requirements as far as NCAA. I just was going for recruitment status at the time, and they saw that I was from Petersburg, and the effort at the time that I put along, they couldn't believe that I still was out there. But going that route, I had to extend myself and ask myself, am I willing to go and take another challenge of going on? So I ended up getting some, at that time, AA offers. I had about 2 Division I offers, and I decided to look at the depth chart. I said, man, I want to get on the field, play as fast as I can, get out there quick. And I decided to go to East Tennessee State University over Marshall University at the time, who was national powerhouse champions at the time. But for me personally, I wanted to get on the football field. Marshall had 2 All-Americans that were coming back. So, I ended up making the choice and going to East Tennessee State.
And that was in the MAC? Was that the MAC conference?
We called the SoCon.
SoCon.
The SoCon.
Southern Conference.
Yeah, we were tough back then. Marshall, Appalachian State, Georgia Southern, ourselves, UTC, Furman, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So, I'm not even going to talk about my college exploits as a ball player. I played 1 year, little D3 ball, hurt myself. And like I said, I had pretty good grades. So at least I had something to fall back on after getting injured. But again, coming up next, we'll have Miss Toni Thweatt. She is our college advisor here at Petersburg High School, and she'll get a little bit more information about getting into college and the requirements that an athlete will need in order to be successful in that endeavor.
Yes, and we're having someone coming by Monday. This, I want to say, part of Toni's club is coming to talk to our kids and try to get them straight as far as getting ready for the next step in life.
And ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome to Coach's Corner. And in this special segment today, we have Miss Toni Thweatt. And Miss Toni Thweatt is our college advisor here at Petersburg High School. And we're going to talk to her a little bit about the NCAA requirements for our future student athletes in the college realm. Before we get there, Miss Thweatt, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. And again, you're new to the Wave family. So again, welcome. If nobody has told you, welcome here to the Wave family. Miss Thweatt, you went to college.
I did.
Where did you go?
The illustrious Norfolk State University.
You see, she put all these unnecessary adjectives in front of Norfolk State University. But from what I've heard, Norfolk State University is a fairly decent school of higher academia and things of that nature. But Ms. Thweatt, your experiences at college, you were able to share those with the students, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a lot of challenges during my time. I experienced college during the COVID season, so that was a little challenge there, but I did end up graduating on time. Shout out to me. And yeah, so I'm always open to share that experience with any students who inquire about it.
And Ms. Thweatt, since she has been here, she's been rocking and rolling. The kids are up and down the interstate. Seems like every other week. So she is doing her job to a T. And again, that is no pun because her first name starts with T and her last name starts with T. But she's doing her job to a T. So Ms. Thweatt, narrowing it down, collegiate athletics. And I know we have some seniors on our ball teams, and they're going to be knocking down your door trying to figure, hey, Ms. Thweatt, I'm trying to go to college. What my grades looking like? And I know that Ms. Terry, our senior counselor, kind of handles the multitude of those things when we're looking at getting down to it. But the input that you give on those collegiate part to those athletes, what are some of the requirements that it takes? If a kid wants to go D1, say he want to go play at Norfolk State University, which they are a D1 school, what are some of the requirements that they'll need to get into Norfolk State?
So as far as D1 and D2, they look into seeing about you having 16 credit courses. And then as far as a D3 school, maybe they tend to do their own requirements. So then your 16 courses can be broken down into 4x4, which would include like your math, your science, your English, and then maybe social studies as well. As far as far as basic requirements.
Basic
16
requirements.
credits.
And what about these SATs and ACTs and all these other standardized tests?
A lot of schools are moving into test optional, meaning that you do not have to submit your scores, but it doesn't hurt to submit your scores. So I suggest to all students, if you can, and Petersburg High School is a SAT fee waiver school. So I do suggest to all students that if you can, go ahead and register for your SAT, ACT, and take it. Even if you don't get the best score the first time, you can take it again, and then they'll do a super score at the end, so they'll combine two of your test scores together.
Oh, super score! I was wondering what that was. A few episodes back, I was talking with some alumni. You know, we graduated back in the '90s. You know, so you had to take the SAT a couple of different times to get a good composite score. And for me, being striving to be a collegiate athlete, I had to take the ACT because I'm not a good test taker. And do we go over test strategies with our students?
The best strategy is to study. They do offer manuals where you can buy and like do like a PSAT, so there'll be some tests in there provided with the answers so you can see how you're doing. But as other than that, I suggest you can still reach out to your teachers. Use your teachers. Like, they teach you every day, but they can also help you outside of being in the classroom for your normal class time.
And when we talk about NCAA and the clearinghouse and things like that, who the coach is going to call the kids, and they say, "Hey, John, we want you to come play on our ball team." What steps does the kid go through after receiving that call, and they come in, Miss Toni, XYZ coach from so and so university wants me to come play for them?
So first I would see like exactly what they're asking you for. Coaches say, hey, we want you to come play, but you have to make sure you understand what they're asking you to do. And then also check in with your school counselor, see your requirements, check your grades, see if there's any classes that you may potentially be missing, see if there's a way that you can get into those classes, just to make sure you're set up. And then maybe see if you can host a shadow day, maybe, where you can go in and shadow the team and see if you would like that school, a tour day, tour the school. Don't just jump straight forward and not know anything about the school just because you received that one offer. So do some digging, do your own research, and make sure that school is the right fit for you.
And Ms. Thweatt, do you all talk any about NIL, name, image, and likeness? Do the kids ask you any questions about, hey, Ms. Toni, how can I get my face out there so people know who I am?
So I know like the X accounts or like your social media accounts in general. So if you have them a little bad, you might want to clean them up. But social media is a good thing. You clean up your social media, make sure you have your name out there. If you need to post some film, follow some college pages, and just send your film off to any school that you may be interested into, and just try going that route as well. The main thing is keeping your social media clean. So if you do anything outside of school that may not be deemed acceptable, I would definitely try to clean it up, and just make sure it looks presentable so that a coach may want to offer you a spot on the team.
Clean. So, Miss Thweatt, what's clean? They know the kids are watching TikTok and they doing the dances. One dance, the bang, 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 something. Is that not clean?
I'm not gonna say TikTok is not clean. I mean, that's the wave right now, so everybody's kind of, jumping on that wave. But as far as like if you drug paraphernalia or anything is that sort, I would not have that on my social media. Middle fingers or just stuff that a coach probably wouldn't want to see. So stuff your grandma and grandpa wouldn't want to see. So that's what I mean by clean.
Okay, clean. And if I'm a student athlete, how should I keep track of my progress in this whole trying to become a collegiate student athlete?
Again, your counselor is in charge of your schedule. They can see all your grades. Also with your teachers, if you know you have a class that you're struggling with, maybe you need to stay after school for tutoring. Just making sure you stay on top of your grades and excelling in your classes. As for like 9th grade and up is where it really does count. So you don't want to feel like, oh, I'm in 9th grade, I have time to play around. No, 9th grade is really when it starts to start off for NCAA and when they want you to start registering. So I just say like staying on top of your grades, checking in with your counselor, making sure your classes are flowing as good as they can. And yeah, that's how you can kind of stay on top.
And one last question on the academic piece, GPAs.
So D1 is 2.3, starting at a little base minimum of a 2.3. And then D2 is 2.2. And again, D3, they set their own requirements. So
okay, so it's basically saying having at least a B average.
Yeah.
Having at least a B average will get you qualified to go to college to play sports. And Ms. Thweatt, if students want to come and find you, or if parents want to contact you, how would they go about doing it?
So I have an email. You want to insert it here? Is that we're gonna put insert it here? But TOTHWEATT at petersburg.k12.va.us is where I typically like people to reach me at. It's my email, and I can respond to those much quicker. Or if you see me in the hallway, like, hey, I see you on Coach's Corner, I got a question or two. I'm very open to talk to you all. I'm not a stranger. I don't bite. So if you got any questions, you come ask.
All right, Ms. Thweatt. Well, thank you for your time. I know your time is very limited. But again, ladies and gentlemen, please check out Ms. Thweatt. She's located in the guidance department here at Petersburg High School. And she did drop her email address. So please hit her in her inbox so she can answer all other questions that you need. Again, Ms. Thweatt, thank you for your time. And again, welcome to the Wave family.
Thank you.
So, Coach, moving on. This week we play Matoaca. And Matoaca, unlike Hopewell and Dinwiddie, we've actually had some success here recently in the recent past. In 2018, we beat Matoaca 51-21.
Mm-hmm.
And
pass no more, man. It's the number one team in the region.
But Coach, some people will say that they play cupcakes. Like Chris Broussard would say on First Things First, they play tomato cans.
They beat Thomas Dale
13-0.
That's it. Not a touchdown scored against them. That's saying a whole lot about their defense. And all the teams in the area voted for them to be number one. He has 4 to 5 Division I football players on this football team. They can play. The quarterback is really one of the best receivers in the state, throwing to another receiver that's one of the best receivers in the state, with a very good running back by the name of Montino Williams, who has another kid who's the son of Patrick Mills, who has who's just as good. The offensive line, everybody can block. The defensive line is very strong. The linebackers are good. The secondary is also the wide receivers that flip over and play the other side. They're number one for a reason. You know, when they play Dinwiddie, it's going to be a good game.
So when they play Petersburg, we're not going to get.
Would you want the 3 points?
Not the 3 points yet, Coach, but again,
give it to
you. You're giving Matoaca all these accolades, and again, they're just
facts.
They're just due of those. Yeah. And again, and besides last year, the year 2022, I know you don't want to go back to revisionist history, but in 2022 for homecoming, we beat them. We lost 24-20, mm-hmm. But if we had 30 more ticks on the clock, we would have won the ball game.
Last second, we had our chance and had our opportunity to beat them. You know, it was on the goal line. We made some mistakes once again and end up not punching it in. But, you know, different team, man, that was in the past. In the past, we got to move on. Those kids don't know nothing about that. You know, so move on.
So moving on, moving on to our 3 points of victory for this week, Coach. What are they?
I'm not going to say for victory for this one right here, because when you come back after an embarrassing loss like you did versus Dinwiddie, you have to correct some things within your team, mm-hmm. and try to get better at something than you did the week before. And it's just so happened to be against the number one team in the region. So, you know, it's not going to get no easier.
Yeah.
But for Matoaca, I say it's the same thing, man. It's the same thing as last week. Offense, defense, special teams, the whole entire Princeton Williams football team has to bring their A game with 0 mistakes and a little bit of sauce to beat this football team right here.
A little bit of sauce. That's a new one, Coach. Is that white sauce or marinara?
And whatever sauce that you like, you want to put on there to get you the little spunk that you need in order to beat a team like this. So you beat a team like this, that's when your whole crowd's supposed to rush on the field and tear down the goalposts, you know what I'm saying, etc. I ain't saying y'all do that because we're going to Matoaca. But, you know, this is an exciting game that as a player you should love to play in.
This would be so if we win, be like Tennessee over Alabama last week.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be like that. A little bit, you know. You're a non-ranked team going against the top team in the region, you know. Absolutely. I'm not going to compare it to a Tennessee Alabama type thing, but more like a Vanderbilt versus Alabama.
Vanderbilt versus Alabama. And Vanderbilt has pulled an upset earlier this year. If you didn't get a chance, again, you can go back to ESPN Instant Highlights for that. So, Coach, the game is Thursday at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, another Thursday game, y'all.
Thursday night football, not presented by Prime.
Not Prime time.
Not presented by Prime. But this game will be at Matoaca High School, and you can get those tickets at gofan.co. Gofan.co. You can get those tickets for the game tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it's going to get a little chilly, so if you want to get those Crimson Wave Spirit Wraps, you can get one of those as well to keep you warm at the game tomorrow. So, Coach, it seems like you have a lot in front of you to take care of. But I know you're the man for the job because you're the man with the plan. So, Coach, wish you good luck on the game on Thursday. And again, we always rolling with the wave. And don't forget to check out Coach's Corner every week on the Petersburg Athletics YouTube page.
Roll wave.